say, I try to study everybody, and then you, through Bryant helping me program, find your way to train as careful as possible, but build that muscle and keep adding on the size. And of course, being a strength athlete too, you're going to have to pick your battles. You're probably more than likely going to tear some stuff, but the pros and cons outweigh with the wrist, because if I didn't train like that, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Because some people like Lee Haney over the years, that guy could paint his toenails and do seated pulley rows with half the stack. He'd still look better than me, so. He's got better genetics. I have to outwork people like that, you know.
Very important to let the nervous system warm up so you don't get too nervous.
Here in Dallas, I got to watch Johnny Jackson prep for Europa he's getting ready for. He's on par for 770, I say more like 800 or 830. He's looking pretty nasty. I was getting kind of hyped watching him pull 675. It looked like a damn warm-up. He pulled it twice, and it looked like, I don't know, it looked fast. It looked like I say, he's on par for something, a new world record, I think. But we did back after that, and started a little different. I've been deadlifting a lot with 600 for reps and just focus on contracting. And I kind of didn't get as much of a reload week this week because we had an opportunity to come down and train here at Destination Dallas, a great gym. So it's like, well, if we're on camera, I got to do at least something kind of impressive. So seeing him pull 675 so easy, I was like, well, I better at least be able to do 765 on the rack pulls. And I did it, but the weights kind of fell off towards the set. Well, you'll get to see it later. And I like the rack pulls because you can really contract and squeeze and visualize the muscle work at the top of the movement. You get like the rhomboids, the traps, rack pulls, I would say, and then also deadlifts. The only difference between deadlifts, I studied this. I looked at Ronnie, and he was a freak of nature like Johnny, but he also pulled a lot with the straps, and when you get really heavy, sometimes you'll want to bounce the weight, and that's when you can also get hurt. If you notice Johnny, that's one thing I think that saved him over the years is he always resets when he pulls. But what I like to do is keep a steady flow on where it's not as much of a bounce, but a controlled upward. Wake up! Reps, but I'll keep it on a deadlift at around, say, 600 pounds, maybe 75, 80%. Some probably in the sevens as a puller, low sevens. But I like to keep the form strict. And with the wrist straps, it gives me the ability to keep the arm straight where you don't tear a bicep, but you can really roll the shoulder blades back at the top with more of a moderate weight and squeeze and do more of a power builder style deadlift. Because Dorian, if you notice, he always deadlifted below the shin like Jay Cutler, and they had terrific back development. And they also did something ridiculous, like 40 sets of rows. You know, I remember Jay Cutler used to do that. And of course, Dorian was bigger proponent of the less volume, heavy duty training. Then we did dumbbell rows. We did like a build up, like move like the 100 each hand. We did like the 160 each hand, and then 200 each hand, but I did a strip set. We went 200, 160, and then the 130, like a drop each side. Took a break for about a minute, 90 seconds, hit the other side. That way you could get the same focus on the right and left side. Holy God!
That was easy.
Yeah, buddy. How you do all that? Little message. All you Instagram keyboard warriors. For every legend that makes it. Every Johnny Jackson. Every Brad Warren. Every Ronnie Coleman. There's 100 guys that might have been just as good in the NFL. Maybe they're doing some other sport. When a man looks back, be proud of all of it. A lot of you guys, you quit running the valve, get to work.
It's so different because you got to think your core is engaging. And especially if you're going to move that kind of weight, if you notice Branch and Johnny, they're also power builders like me. Like they're always wearing those GASP belts. And if you're looking for a really good accessory, that thicker belt that they have, that thing would work for any powerlifter or meet, pulling for a full meet. Like if you had to squat and deadlift, it definitely give you enough back support. It's probably one of the best belts I've ever used for training. And of course, remember those straps too, because you can pull more with your back and not use your arm when you're wearing the wrist straps. Then we went from the dumbbell row strip sets, then we did some stiff arm pull downs. I like using those lately for pullovers because pullovers, that's how I actually hurt my tricep. I was trying to show off a lot of weight and messed it up. So been using those and machine, like the heavy duty system training pullover machine with more moderate weight and squeezing and focusing more on visualization, because that movement is really not even meant for extremely heavy weight. I know people get confused with Arnold the way he used to do them, but what really works good is even using it more for physical therapy with a band and a lighter weight and keeping the arm straight and stretching and getting that full range of motion to get that muscle lengthened to where you don't get injured and get hurt, whether it be your tricep, your lats, all that. So then we went from the stiff arm pull downs, then we went to the seated hammer strength row. Nothing crazy heavy, just kind of went plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, focused on visualization, squeezing, instead of just swinging the shit out of the weight, you know, because I kind of mixed the tempos there with the rowing. And those rack pulls also in the beginning took a lot out of me.
Yeah. Come on, then.
I have to get my body weight up at 5'8". I'm around 270 pounds right now. But the same thing worked last, I think 2018. I was on par to do something big before I messed up my tricep. But like anything, you know, just let it heal and kept training. And now I'm starting to swell up again. And even learning to work around it and be more careful now that I'm getting older, which I think is a great message to the kids that are trying to come up, because they read all this Instagram bullshit and about these, you know, protocols and stuff that you can do, and they think you can just, you know, one day grow up and become a bodybuilder, but it takes years to get that level of size and muscle maturity, and it takes time, you know. Then from there we did some weighted pull-ups, which were pretty hard because with that chain on me, I'm probably down there 300 pounds at 5'8". I did like maybe 3 sets of 5 to finish out, and I know the man behind the camera was hungry, so he needed some food, and we chilled after that. So another thing I didn't get to get on camera, but I like to do after a back workout is get the wrist straps, just stretch the fascia in your lats and just hang, get somebody to time you, hang for about 30 seconds to a minute to cool down after the rows and everything. I really think it helps with your lats when you have to hit a front lat spread on stage and everything for bodybuilders, and doing it year round. And then also doing lat stretches in between your sets, just to keep everything. And then also too, I think they got some shots of me drinking water. Just make sure and stay hydrated too when you train hard like that. That way you don't get hurt.